Assembling into a loose-knit body around the tree, the people began nervously to whisper to one another before again falling silent at the approach of the village elder, a man of around 70 years who had only just caught up with the rest of the group. "Look at this ancient tree," exclaimed the aged man, who shook his crooked walking stick at the twisted trunk, "and you'll see that our guardian against impending doom is already right here." Several of the men looked at one another, and the stabler's man made a cock-eyed expression behind the old man's back, which elicited a hushed, nervous chortle amongst the others. "If only the French battalions will be as afraid of a few old trees as you, that would be very convenient for us. But I am afraid their army is made up of fierce young men, young like us. And do we look afraid of these trees?" A murmur of assent swelled up at his reasoning. "And what's worse, they'll be coming through here any time on their way to Tortosa. The latest dispatches tell us the city is already making urgent preparations for a siege." Yet the patriarch seemed to have anticipated this argument and continued serenely to unravel his thread. "When I was younger, during the time of Carlos III, I heard a story from a soldier who had just returned from Naples, which had been conquered for the glory of the Spanish crown. He told us that during the bitter campaigns to quell pockets of local resistance in the mountain villages inland of Sorrento, where hardy Italians refused to cede ground even in the face of sure destruction, reports began to circulate about terrible phantoms, ghosts, haunting the ancient hill forests of the Vesuvius. At night, around the campfire, stories began to spread. Stories about how a platoon of men had been ambushed by a huge monster wrapped in its death shroud, gurgling and yawning and scaring the soldiers half to death as they scrambled in retreat.